Hi everybody. Um, I recorded this whole interview and then forgot to introduce myself and my guest, which wasn't very clever. My name's Ollie. I'm a English and journalism student at Birmingham City University, and this interview is part of my disruptive publishing module. I interviewed Jules, who is the president of the Doctor Who Society in Cardiff. We chatted about how they feel living in Cardiff, where Doctor Who is currently being filmed, and now it's back after the 13th Doctor series was not filmed there, and also about their thoughts and feelings on the 60th anniversary. I will say this is filmed before the Giggle, however, it's being released after, the Giggle being the third of the 60th anniversary specials. I think it's very funny that it's released after because Jules' predictions were spot on. Alright, enjoy the interview, guys. If it sounds a bit crunchy, it was recorded through WhatsApp. And before we going one final time, I want to say a huge thank you to the whole Doctor Who Society. Some of the members reached out and provided some images of the filming that you'll see later in this semi-audio podcast. Of course, a massive thank you to Jules for giving me some of their time, and also a thank you to Catherine Wheeler, who designed the logo for the Who Society that you're currently looking at. It's the background for this mostly audio interview. However, as I said, there are some pictures popping up. I've put Catherine's socials along with everybody else's in the description. They're also appearing on the video. I just thought I'd give them big shout out right at the top of the video because the art is awesome and I don't want to give the impression that I've just grabbed it because it deserves full credit. Okay, back to past Ollie and on to the interview. Preamble's done now.
First question a bit is how are you doing and what did you think of the last two episodes of Doctor Who as part of the three-part 60th anniversary? Reply when you can. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I absolutely loved the last two episodes. I'm a queer person, so the Star Beast was a massive celebration. I'm non-binary, and so having like a non-binary trans character was very nice. It made me feel seen in a show that I really loved. And with Wild Blue Yonder, I thought the concept was amazing. I did have some issues with the CGI just because I think they could have made them look a bit creepier. But it is Doctor Who, so it's kind of like, what do you expect? But yeah, I think so far it's phenomenal. I'm so happy the show's back. A year is too long to wait. And yeah, I'm just excited for next week as well.
I completely agree with the CGI. They could have gone full creepy, but I still really liked the references to Pandora in the episode. I thought that was excellent. I was actually going to ask you about Rose, so you answered one of my own questions there. But as a queer person, do you think this is representation is a step in the right direction? And how would you like to see this progress? Moving from the Chibnall era back into Russell T Davies, what form of representation are you looking forward to seeing, if at all?
Yeah, so obviously I there has been some discourse online about the particular scene where Rose is being dead named by people on the street, and everyone's very, very split on it. But I think I personally think it's important because that is a reality of queer, like genderqueer people everywhere. And I think it was handled pretty well. And I think the idea that Rose's identity was such a positive thing in the episode really made it just really made me feel accepted as a person. Um, and I just hope that it kind of continues not just with genderqueer representation, but different ethnicities, different religious beliefs, different sexualities, stuff like that. I really feel hopeful for the future of the show and how it's just progressing in a really great direction for everyone.
And obviously, the last three episodes, so the one that hasn't come out yet and the two just gone, were partially filmed in Camden Market but sneakily filmed all over Cardiff. And the continuing filming for the 15th Doctor is still happening in the city you're living in right now. As the president of the Doctor Who Society and an avid Whovian, have you been to any shoots? Have you spotted any shoots? Any funky gossipy stories to tell of roaming meets in Cardiff city centre?
For the most part, I have been very unlucky when it comes to when they are filming because I'm like very busy with my degree, and every time they've been doing some big filming with Shooty, I've had to do like a shift at work or I've been ill. But our vice president, has as his profile picture a picture of him with Ncuti Gatwa at 3 o'clock in the morning, and so does one of our other members. Quite a few of us now have met the people on the scene. There was a video that went viral on Twitter of Ncuti Gatwa in a car driving past fans, like waving at them. That was filmed by one of our members. I have been to a couple of the filmings, but I could never stay for that long. It is always very exciting though, even the very brief time that I've been there. It's very cool. And even just seeing like walking around my uni campus and seeing places that I've seen in Doctor Who, it gets you very excited. Like I remember in series 10 with Bill and that, the biosciences building is very clearly used, and so is the main building, and it's very fun.
Would you be able to tell me any specifics of what you saw on set? And what your favorite moments other than that Bill moment? Again, you're answering the questions before I ask them. Your favorite moments and locations from Doctor Who that you can now visit whenever you want.
Yeah, so the couple of times that I've been on set, I haven't stayed long enough to really see any action going on. From what I've seen from other people, obviously, when this does happen, we have a dedicated channel on our Discord server for Doctor Who Society where people will post pictures, stuff like that, and keep everyone updated. Um, so when I've been there, I remember one of the like corridors of shops, I can't remember what it's called, was all sort of like it was like transformed into a completely different scene. Like the shops weren't what they were usually, which I found really interesting because I know a lot of the things that we see in Doctor Who, they say are London, but they're actually Cardiff. So it makes you kind of realise. In regards to like my favourite places I can go and visit that have been in Doctor Who, I'm a massive fan of the 12th Doctor, and when he is pretending to be like a lecturer, um, I I haven't been in the main building that much because I don't do chemistry, I do philosophy. But when I've been in there, it feels so nostalgic because he's my favorite doctor, or like he's one of my favorite doctors. And I remember being a kid and watching it, and it's like living my dream. I'm in Doctor Who, I've got into my uni, and it just brings me a lot of happiness.
So, if you don't mind me asking, was Cardiff University chosen for you partially because of Doctor Who? And living out that dream of being on the set as a fan and studying whilst in almost the world of the show.
Well, when I was growing up, my whole family are Whovians, so my brother, my mum, and my dad would go to the Doctor Who experience in Cardiff. And whenever we'd come up, we'd also explore the city. And so I always knew that I loved Cardiff as a place. Obviously, when the Doctor Who experience got like removed, which is still a tragedy, I'm still hoping they bring it back. We didn't come as much, but we still did because we just loved it for what it was. So when I really realized, I guess, growing up that it was filmed there as well, it was like another reason. I mean, I guess you could say in a sense Doctor Who was a real stepping stone to me discovering my love for this place and helping me choose my uni because at the end of the day, it was just because I feel a connection with this place and I do love this place so much and the course was right for me. But I would be lying if I said that the fact that Doctor Who is filmed here has been it did tip the scales. It did tip the scales. But yeah, I mean Doctor Who did really, I guess, help build my love for this place and this uni, and I just can't believe I get to be here.
I've just got the last few questions and then I'll leave you be. What are your predictions for the giggle? And what would be your idea festive special for December 25th, Shutikawa's first episode? And do you have any predictions for that and the upcoming season?
For my predictions for the giggle, there was a leak going around, and it's pretty much been confirmed now. In essence, there's going to be two doctors by the end of it, I believe. I firmly believe that that's what's going to happen. One doctor, who I believe will still be David Tennant, will remain on Earth to live a happy, calm life like Donna was suggesting in the end of the Star Beast. And the other doctor, which is Ncuti, will go off in another TARDIS and have adventures like the Doctor always has done. And that would lead nicely into this whole new era rebranding kind of thing that they've done with labeling the next series as Series 1 again. Christmas special, honestly, I've seen the pictures of the little goblins that are in it and they look amazing, and I just think it's going to be amazing to have it on Christmas Day again, and they look hilarious, honestly. So I have very high hopes. Um, and for the next season, I have a feeling it's going to be very tragic. The only pictures we've seen of Shooty are pretty much all of him crying in some way, but I really hope we see some emotional maturity from the Doctor, like we've seen with 14. I think the Doctor has grown, and I think he's more emotionally in touch with his companions and himself, and I hope that carries on with Shooty. And my predictions for the giggle may be completely wrong. I've just taken the scraps of what I've seen from this leak, and I'm just piecing it together with my own head. If I'm right, I'll be astonished.
Thank you very much for your time. And a final question before I go. Who is your favourite Doctor and why? And whilst we're at it, who is your favourite companion?
Oh no. Okay. This is a hard question. My favorite classic Doctor has to be the third Doctor, John Pertwee. I think he's very fabulous. He wears frills on his suits and velvet jackets, and he knows how to do karate, and he's very deadpan, and I find that very funny. Modern Who, it has to be a tie between 12 and 13, Peter Capaldi and Jodie Whittaker. They are both amazing actors, and they played the Doctor so differently, and I loved it. I loved The Timeless Child. I loved Heaven Sent from Peter Capaldi. Both of them hold a very special place in my heart, and their series got me through some really hard times, so I just really love them. Companion, that's even harder because there's a lot of companions. I suppose Sarah Jane Smith, because I loved the Sarah Jane's adventures when I grew up, and she was an amazing actress. She was an amazing character, and I still miss like that show with all my heart to this day. So I'd have to say her, even though it's very closely followed with people like Bill and Clara, but she just comes out on top for that reason.
Utterly excellent takes. For anybody at home wondering, my favourite is the two Peters, Peter Davidson and Peter Capaldi. And I completely agree with you on companions, exactly in that order, actually. Sarah Jane, Bill, Clara. Again, thank you for your time, and thank you for everybody at home.